Oh, Scott, here. Oh man, look. Here we go. Warner Brothers reiterates plans to increase focus on free-to-play and live service games. Oh man, Tom Ivan over VGC.
Man.
Speaking at a Morgan Stanley conference, JB Perrette, the company's CEO of global streaming and games, said, quote, "The majority of our business revolves around the four main forms of IP and games, which are all billion-dollar businesses themselves." End quote. They are Mortal Kombat, Game of Thrones, DC, and Harry Potter. While last year's Harry Potter spin-off Hogwarts Legacy was 2023's best-selling game, last year's versus this year's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has failed to meet companies' expectations. Quote, "The challenge we've had is that our business historically, there have been very AAA console based, and so, as you know, that's a great business when you have a hit like Harry Potter. It makes the year look amazing, and then when you don't have a release, or ultimately we also have disappointments." Well, he's talking about Suicide Squad this quarter, which was not as strong. "It just makes it feel volatile," end quote, said Perrette. Absolutely. Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav said in December that the company was focused, quote, "on transforming our biggest franchises from largely console and PC based with 3-4 year release schedules to include more always on game." Man, what a weird phrase. "More always on gameplay through live services, multi-platform and free-to-play extensions, with the goal to have more players spending more time on our platforms." Dude, that is business. That makes a ton of sense to me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, more and more these days, we are very seldom do I feel like we're getting the game, completing it, and then bouncing. Right? It's always, how do you stick around? How do you stick around? How do you stick around? Right now, Skull and Bones works great for us right now. Not for everybody. Hooked us. Suicide Squad, dude, we played it. I beat it. I bounced. Am I coming back? I don't know, man. That Joker doesn't look like all that appealing to me, right?
That's not enough to bring you back in that case, no.
No, unfortunately not. But, quote, "We think the opportunity for us," which again, this is a multi-year opportunity because games is certainly a bit of a long cycle business too. But the opportunity is to take those four franchises and be able to develop a much more holistic approach, particularly around expanding into the mobile and multi-platform free-to-play space, which could give us a much better and consistent set of revenue. And you'll see us launching later this year some mobile free-to-play games, which we hope will start building that. And then secondarily live service. So rather than just launching a kind of one and done console game, how do we develop a game around, for example, Hogwarts Legacy or Harry Potter, that is a live service where people can come today and live and work and build and play in the world on an ongoing basis? Scott, part of me is like, yo, I'm all in. Yo, Hogwarts Legacy I thought was absolutely incredible. And now I'm done. I was like, man, but that was a long game. Dude, there's still stuff in that game technically I could go back and do. There's so many more. I have Merlin things to do. I have side quests still to fill with, like play with, and go out and
Star
keep going.
charts.
Man, there's a ton of stuff. But he talked about to come today and live and work and build and play. We're building. Like there's a build aspect to it, right? Where I'm like, man, that was cool. Your secret room, right? You're up there and you're doing things and you're crafting in your.
Oh, the room of requirement, yeah.
Exactly, right? Where I constantly had plants building me for health and this, that, and the other. And then I'm over here and I'm building up this part, and then I'm getting the creatures going. Like, dude, it was awesome.
My problem with that is that Warner Brothers is trying to live in the their favorite days of just making a ton of money with the best-selling game of all of last year. Yeah. But I don't think that they're really responsible for why that game did so well. And maybe that's not 100% fair. I don't mean to slight the developers in any case at all. That's not what I'm saying. Sure. But what I'm saying is that all of the good mechanics in that game, everything was written by J.K. Rowling like 20 years ago. And that's the reason it's in that game. It works so well. The room of requirement is a brilliant idea in a book, and it works in this case. But I'm seeing somebody looking at the math and getting the completely different numbers than I am. You're
Yeah.
taking you want to look to the greatest success of last year, Hogwarts Legacy, and think, how could we change that? That
Don't.
seems like complete backwards thinking to me. I've
Absolutely.
never faced success in my life and gone, I wish I did it differently.
He continued on, and so we think we've got the franchises, we've got some of the greatest studio capabilities, and we have a roadmap and strategic investment plan to try and build out that business. And we think there's a meaningful growth over the course of the next couple of years. End quote. Take note, also, speaking of the Joker for Suicide Squad, will launch on March 28th. I don't know if that's going to cut it for me, but it is interesting to think of. Here's where they go. Mortal Kombat, dude, it's got a games of service model in it. Unbelievable that I can go
Is it
in there.
updates, or would you say games of service?
No,
'Cause
it's
there's
a games
kind
of
of
service.
a
It is, dude.
Okay.
It is a games of service. Every day there's new skins. There's a rollover. There's things to go in, grind out. Right, you get this currency, and then it allows you to go buy new skins for that season. The season's
Okay.
free, right? So I got to give it to him. The season's free. Too bad this time around sucks. Dude, the skins are horrible. They're horrible. Like I've got Scorpion with a mohawk.
what?
Yeah, dude, it's just like this is
Are
some
we
of
getting
the most.
Fortnite crossovers?
Oh
or
man,
something?
it's got some weird stuff in it this season. And even my son, who's big into Mortal Kombat as well, so him and I will talk about Mortal Kombat all the time. And Dad, did you see the season? I looked at him and said, dude, it sucks. He goes, yeah, it's horrible. I'm like, okay, so it's not just me, right? I'm like, I didn't like it either. That might be for some, and I think some are gonna dig it. But for me, I was like, I don't like any of these. So for me, I'm out right now. I'll wait till the next season. I'll come back and I'll grind that out. I find Mortal Kombat this time around is different than when I was playing Mortal Kombat 11. Dude, when I was in there playing Mortal Kombat 11, I was in there and I was going. Like, I'm well over 100 hours. I got so much coin sitting around doing nothing. Like, if we could get that live service model that's going to pull me in on a daily basis, have me grind out for the next cosmetic, I'm in, right? But I don't have that. I don't have that character either this time around either. Like when I did with Mortal Kombat 11, dude, I was Scorpion.
You're Scorpion all day.
All day, every day. But right now, I just haven't had one that really clicks. Then I'm like, okay. I don't know if it's just because I'm not playing enough, or it just didn't really set me on fire with it.
In this case, again, though, I think that live service element appeals to you in Mortal Kombat because it's Mortal Kombat. Again, the work was done 20 years ago to kind of set the foundation for a live service that would work. But that's not the case when it comes to Suicide Squad, particularly by name, or maybe other DC. So what I'm thinking is that maybe this is a model that works, but it only works with very well-established 20-year-old properties or older. You can't just pull out a new game. I shouldn't say can't. It's not absolute, but it doesn't seem wise to just pull out a brand new idea and model it after something like Suicide Squad, instead of making it, albeit risky, but a one and done scenario that could just stand the test of time for 20 years later when you want to turn that into a live service.
Hogwarts Legacy just worked, right? Like, it just worked. It was the biggest game of last year. It beat out Call of Duty, and now you want to turn it into a live service experience.
I understand wanting to live in the past, but the past is over.
So now that just goes. So how greedy are you, right? Like, how much money you made the most on a game last year, and you want to keep capitalizing on it? I understand Harry Potter. That world will live forever. It feels like, right? And I think they can really do some cool stuff with it, providing they pay attention and don't just try to gouge us out for stuff, right? To keep us coming back. I don't need an Anthem scenario, unfortunately, right? We don't need another Suicide Squad. We didn't need this one, right? At the end of the day, we didn't need Suicide Squad. And when they're talking about DC IPs, dude, it's not like Marvel. Marvel's just at a different place.
No.
And I think DC is lingering on, and maybe it's something that they should let go of a little bit and then try to just expand into new IPs. Instead of trying to, we have Suicide Squad. It doesn't work. Game of Thrones is an interesting one for me. I'm very curious. What do they do with the Game of Thrones?
Have you played any of them?
Dude, Telltale did a incredible job on a Game of Thrones game.
I haven't played the Telltale one. That sounds like it would be a beautiful match.
It was fantastic. It had this like oil painting art style to it and stuff. It was sick, dude. It was so cool. But they do have.
There was
IPs
one that I played.
Yeah.
There was one that I played, but it was out on 360. It was that long ago, which I didn't think the Game of Thrones show was even that old. But I have not seen a follow up to that, and I don't remember who exactly put that one together. It wasn't incredible, but I'm afraid of anything Game of Thrones live service because I know 90% of the way in it's just gonna get really bad.
But they're just banking on 4 IPs now, and I don't know if that's the way to go. Like this, it's gonna be interesting to watch Warner Brothers over the next few years come out with new games to see what that looks like. How long are they gonna keep Mortal Kombat 1 going, right? And we just got Peacemaker. I'm like, I don't care, right? Like there's just some of these. No, man, give me Ermac. Ermac's coming. Ermac's right there. This is the one I'm waiting for, right? Like, yo, give me my Ermac. Let's go. But we'll see what the roadmap looks like for Mortal Kombat in the end as it continues to keep coming up with new seasons and stuff. Some I was in, some I'm not, right? Currently not there, but I'll be back, I'm sure. Game of Thrones, cool. Where's Shadow of War or Shadow of Mordor? Those titles, like, where are those ones now?
Yeah,
right?
Hey, there's a good example though. I think that one got buried because of its live service kind of tendencies. It might again be an example of what not to do.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole
I think we're gonna get.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I think we're going to get Hogwarts Legacy 2, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna enjoy what it looks like.
It makes me nervous, without a doubt, right? It does make me nervous to think of if this is their approach now for everything moving forward. What does that do to our game? One of the biggest games ever with Hogwarts Legacy, to just destroy it by putting it into a games of service model. It doesn't work for every game. Dude, The Last of Us. Just saying.
I stop this. Please, tell me how.
You have to kill us, Diana. We have to die to save the world.